After what happened at Valley Fest, Robbie and Sam are getting together to train, and Robbie says, you know what the problem with Miyagi-Do is? It's all about defense. You never see our offense. And she says, well, what do you want us to do? Go to the mall and pick a fight and record us defending ourselves? And Robbie says it's not the worst idea, but Sam thinks it's a terrible idea. Sam then goes and finds her dad working on Mr. Miyagi's old car, and her dad has realized that he needs to go for a more personalized touch to get people through the door. He then tells Sam to grab Robbie because they're going to take a drive to their beach club. Daniel has an idea to preach to the parents, not the kids. He's banking on parents doing whatever it takes to protect their kids and forcing their kids to learn karate. And this is a long shot, but Daniel's exhausted every other avenue to promote Miyagi-Do, so why not try this one? When they arrive at the country club, Robbie recognizes it because he worked there, and it did not end well. So he's a little hesitant to go in, even though he's going in as a guest. But him and Sam are going to chill by the pool while Daniel goes and tries to drum up some business with the parents. Now, over with Cobra Kai, Kreese is telling a bunch of the kids about his war stories. The issue is, he's messing up, and Miguel notices it. He gets countries completely confused. And he tries to play it off like, well, when you've been in the sand as long as I have, that's bound to happen, but Miguel finds the behavior odd. And training is starting a bit late because Johnny is in the back arguing with the landlord. The landlord wants to raise the rent yet again on Johnny because he has more students. But Johnny tells the guy basically to piss off. He's not going to pay the guy more rent just because he has more students. Johnny then starts class and notices that there's a few new people in the room. One of them is the guy from the hardware store that sold him the mirror glass. He asks all the new people, which one of you guys has the balls to take on the champ? And then all the way in the back, a girl named Tori raises her hand. She tells the room that she saw their demonstration at Valley Fest, but wonders if they can actually fight. And Miguel is tasked with showing her. The two get into it, and she's no joke. I mean, she's got serious skills. And her and Miguel continue to go back and forth, with nobody really winning, but each one surprising the other. After class, Aisha runs into her at the mini-mart, and Aisha's stressing because her mom wants her to come to the beach club, but she doesn't want to see Sam. She's still pissed off at her. And she asks Tori if she wants to go, just so it won't be as awkward. Maybe she has a friend there. Now, two guys that won't be going to the beach club are Miguel and Eli. Eli is outside FaceTiming with Dimitri, and Dimitri had heeded Eli's advice. He headed to the dojo to rejoin, although he did so with a list of demands. But he didn't give the list of demands to Johnny, he gave him to Kreese. And then he started nitpicking Kreese's tattoo. And that's when Kreese beat the shit out of him. Now, Eli thinks that Dimitri should just suck it up because he walked into a karate dojo, that's what happens. But this is even more strange behavior from Kreese that Miguel just can't ignore. So he brings it to Johnny, telling Johnny that he's a little worried about the behavior from Mr. Kreese. Johnny tells him that he and Kreese go way back, and the guy has his issues, but everybody deserves a second chance. But that doesn't mean that Johnny isn't going to look into it, and he overhears Kreese on the phone arguing with somebody. He asks him if everything's okay, and he says that he's at the Sheraton, and he's pretty sure one of the housekeepers stole his watch. Kreese then leaves, saying, I'll see you in the morning, but Johnny decides to follow him. And luckily for Johnny, his car is very inconspicuous. I mean, it's only a Dodge Charger with a yellow racing stripe that has the Cobra Kai logo all over it. And he ends up following Kreese to a homeless shelter. He asks Kreese if any of it was true, or was everything he said a lie. And Kreese tells him, well, you knew me when I was on top. It's kind of hard to let that go. Things got pretty rough for Kreese after he lost the dojo. He tried to re-enlist in the army, but he couldn't pass the psych eval. He kind of just sputtered through life until he got old. And for the last 10 years, he's been living in homeless shelters. But when he heard about what Johnny did in the All Valley, he figured that might be his second chance. He's kind of giving Johnny a little bit of a sob story, and Johnny tells him that sounds a lot like defeat, but I was taught that defeat does not exist in this dojo. If you want a chance to redeem yourself, you've got it, but you have to do things my way. And Kreese, with no other real option, accepts the offer. Now, back over with the beach club, Daniel is schmoozing the parents, and he's doing a really good job of it, describing why they really should get their kids interested in karate, specifically Miyagi-Do. But then Aisha's mom shows up, and she tells the table how much karate has done for Aisha, giving her confidence. And they ask Daniel, is Aisha one of your students? And her mom cuts in and says, no, she goes to Cobra Kai. And basically gives Cobra Kai a 2-minute commercial that has all of the parents enamored with it. I mean, there's no real shot for Daniel to redeem this one. It seems like if these people are going to get their kids involved in karate, it's going to be at the Cobra Kai dojo and not Miyagi-Do. So Daniel seemingly just takes the L and decides to walk on the beach. His daughter, meanwhile, is getting some sun when she notices Aisha show up with Tori. And she's still pissed at Aisha for ruining their performance, but Robbie convinces her to go talk to her and make up. And they talk it out with Aisha not being cool with the fact that, in her opinion, Daniel made a commercial going at Cobra Kai, and I just laid out the problems that Sam had with Aisha, but they realize it's pretty stupid to spend the entire summer fighting about karate. Aisha then says, man, it must really suck to sit there the entire summer training with Abs, aka Robbie, but Sam reassures her we're just friends. And Aisha says, either way, I'm not going to tell Miguel. And as Sam and Aisha continue to chat, when Tori then shows up with a bottle of vodka that she poached from the bar, Sam tells her, you really should put that back. You're going to get in trouble. And then Aisha awkwardly introduces the two. So after exchanging somewhat pleasantries, Tori tells her, no one's going to miss a bottle of vodka. I could probably swipe half the silverware in this place and no one would notice. But Sam tells her, you really shouldn't steal anything. And Tori says, what are you, a nun? She then tells Aisha, come on, let's go. Let's have a drink. Let's have some fun. And the two head off. Now, while this is going on, Robbie gets approached by the manager of the beach club, telling him, you know what I told you. If you ever come here again, I'm going to call the police. And he tries to call security to get him kicked out, but Amanda shows up and says, what's going on here? The manager tells her, we're going to get this delinquent out of here, but she tells the manager he's our guest, he's staying. Amanda then asks Robbie, though, what was all that about? And he does say, before I met you guys, I was a different person. I worked here, and me and my friends got into some trouble. We didn't hurt anybody, but what the manager said is correct. I probably should get going. Amanda reassures him, though, that everybody deserves a second chance. It's what we do next that counts. So Robbie's staying put at that beach club. But right as the family's about to leave, Amanda notices that she doesn't have her wallet with her, and Sam is pretty certain she knows who took it. So she goes and hunts down Tori along with Aisha and says, hey, my mom's missing her wallet. Why don't you just give it to me before I call security? And Tori is taking this as an insult. She can't believe that she's being approached after telling her that she could steal all the silverware and the fact that she stole a bottle of vodka. I mean, it's not that far-fetched of an accusal. Tori starts to walk away, but Sam grabs her bag and Tori pushes her onto the food table with food going all over Sam. Now, Tori walks off, but Aisha does come over and say, are you okay? And Sam, who's covered in food, says, hey, real nice friend you've got. And instead of sticking up for her lifelong friend, Aisha says, well, you shouldn't have accused her, and walks off. But while that mini fight was going down, Robbie thinks he has a pretty good idea of where the wallet is. He heads down to the beach, and sure enough, he finds that along with a bunch of other wallets, because his old friends used to do this. You find out that stealing wallets is what got Robbie fired in the first place from that beach club. But he hears his friends coming, and he sets up a camera. He feels like this is a really good opportunity to show that defense can be great offense. He tells his friends, I found your stash, and you're going to give it all back. But they say, yeah, no, we're not. Did you not learn your lesson last time? Do you want to get your ass kicked? And Robbie squares up, ready to take him on. But then he gets hit in the back of the head with a paddle because Robbie clearly forgot this was a three-man job. And the guy who worked at the beach club, who was stealing all those wallets, took Robbie out. They start beating up Robbie, even threatening to stab him when Daniel, who was walking the beach, sees what was going on and ends up taking all of the bullies out using his own karate. When they get back to the dojo, Robbie does apologize, saying what he did was stupid, but does show Daniel that something good came out of it. It was the video that he made. A former All-Valley champ taking out 3 criminals, that video could go viral. It could be the advertising that they need to get a packed dojo. But Daniel doesn't want it. He says Miyagi-Do is about self-defense, not taking credit. It's time to just be patient. Let those who need us find us. And at that very moment, somebody has found them, and that person is Dimitri. So Miyagi-Do Karate officially has their 3rd student. Thank you so much for watching this recap. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Like the video if you liked it. Hit thumbs down if you thought it sucked. If you don't see the next video up in the end screen, don't worry, it'll be up soon. And please be nice in the comments section. Nobody likes being told they suck, even if it's true. Oh, and sharing's caring.